Hello from VP Sailors, and what do we have here? Well, it's the Jolla phone, of course. And I have had it for a couple of days now. And on this video we'll take a quick look on the hardware, how it looks, how it feels, and most of all just a short look on the user interface, Selfish OS. So as far as the front goes, there's no buttons at all, reminiscent to N9 and the swipe user interface idea. And another hardware highlight is this kind of dual layer design, with this white part being the famous other half, and this metal, or this black, is actually a metal. This whole frame is metal, and like you can see, there's actually no Jolla logo on the front, but on the back, if you can spot it actually, you can see, if you can see, there you go, there's one Jolla logo and another kind of this cool minimalistic Jolla logo is on the metallic frame on the top. And here you have the only hardware buttons there is on this device: the power on and off and volume up and down, and the microphone and speaker. And I would imagine many of the people thinking to switch to Jolla are most likely old N9 users or still use N9. So while I don't have my N9 anymore, I do have my old Lumia 800, and as far as design goes and size, it's identical to N9. So if you are thinking of switching from N9, here's something to expect as far as the size goes. But of course the Jolla has 4.5-inch screen, and N9 has, it's, I believe, yeah, it's 3.7 inch on N9. But still, even with the 4.5 inch, you can still use the device one-handed, and that's kind of the idea behind swipe user interface and this Selfish OS. So yeah, well, actually, let's show the box as well. Usually I don't really care much about these boxes, but I thought this was kind of cool. You have this kind of code in the box and the Jolla logo. Kind of nice. And that's the Selfish logo. And there's no headphones in the box. But yeah, that's that. Let's get in the most important point, that is the Selfish OS itself. And if you are a N9 user, then you should be familiar with the double tap to awake. You can of course also use the button. And here you have the standby screen. On the left you get all your notifications, and here on the, you see that kind of glow on the top. That's one of the basic elements on the user interface on the Selfish OS. So you get some quick cases: settings, camera, phone, and silence. So now it's silenced, and turn on. And this is vertical user interface, so we go down. And this is kind of heart of the device. You have the multitasking window and some basics apps that you can switch around or select another ones there, and so on. And here you have the kind of basic app grid found from any other user interface there is. And continuing with the basics of the user interface, let's go to settings, and let's say you want to push this application to the multitasking window. You start from the frame, and now you have pushed that application to the multitasking window. So the motion needs to go start from outside the screen, from the frame, and you push that application to the multitasking window. And something different from the swipe user interface or the N9 is that you get this kind of transparent stuff. So if example you are in the watching video or emails or stuff like that, you can check your clock, battery status or network status or stuff like that. And something you need to differentiate is, you see those three dots there. This means you can go back, and going back happens inside, or the swipe happens inside the screen. So now we are going back. But if we are again want to put this application to the multitasking window, we do it from the frame. So yeah. And again, if we want to close this application, again from the frame and from up to down, and that's that. We can also close applications by holding and pushing the X. And one more interesting thing here to go is the Jolla store. And again you can see that glow there top, so we can swipe or push down and we get my apps and search there. And the Jolla store, well, there isn't much stuff at the moment. You have some mixed Android apps here and native Selfies OS apps, but really not that much stuff. And that gets us to the more interesting part, that is Android apps. So Yandex Store is something that is pre-installed on the device. I believe you can actually on the first startup select not to install it. But still, you have plenty of Android apps here, free and paid apps. And you can actually see those Android keys there. But if you are ready to go some trouble, you can actually install Google's Play Store, and you can actually find instructions from vpshares.com example for it. So we can enter to the normal Google Play Store. And I have to say that I have been pretty damn impressed by the Android apps running on this. I haven't had any kind of crashes or anything, and no problem with smoothness or anything. So that's actually pretty damn nice. I do know that there are apps that have been crashing and so on, so it's not perfect, but I haven't had any kind of problem so far. But yeah, I have had the phone only for 2 days, so there's that. And actually let's open something like Android app like United. This is Cloud app, and I have been able to upload and download stuffs, and let's for example like some music. And again, with even these Android apps, you can push these to the multitasking window. Or like something like Shazam. And that's that. So yeah, that's just kind of a quick look on the device and Selfish OS.